The Magic of Believing by Claude M. Bristol. Short summary. The Magic of Believing by Claude M. Bristol explores the idea that belief itself is a powerful force that can influence the outcomes of life. Bristol contends that by developing strong beliefs and visualizing desired outcomes, individuals can tap into a potent force that can manifest their goals. He provides numerous anecdotes and historical examples to support this idea, including stories of individuals who achieved extraordinary things by holding steadfast beliefs. Bristol also explores the role of subconscious thought processes, emphasizing the power of suggestion and how it can shape events. Introduction of the Magic of Believing, Unlocking Your Potential. The introduction of the magic of believing sets the stage for a journey into the untapped potential of the human mind, emphasizing the transformative power of belief in achieving success. Bristol begins by acknowledging the universal desire for success, stating, generally speaking, people are more interested in themselves and their success than anything else. He posits that this innate drive is a powerful force that, when properly channeled, can lead to extraordinary outcomes. However, Bristol recognizes a fundamental problem hindering most people: they are either unaware of their inner power or lack the knowledge to utilize it effectively. This leads to a life of limitations, where individuals succumb to external circumstances instead of shaping their own destinies. Bristol challenges this passive existence, encouraging readers to take control by exploring the mind stuff, a term he uses to describe the latent potential of the mind. Bristol's solution to this predicament is rooted in the transformative power of belief. He argues that by cultivating an unwavering belief in oneself and one's goals, individuals can transcend perceived limitations and achieve seemingly impossible feats. This belief is not rooted in blind faith or mysticism, rather, it is a practical, workable principle gleaned from years of personal experience and observation. He presents a non-mystical approach, grounded in simple language and relatable anecdotes, to make this powerful concept accessible to everyone. To establish his credibility and inspire confidence in his approach, Bristol highlights his diverse background. He details his journey from a skeptical police reporter, trained to get facts and accept nothing for granted, to a successful businessman and avid student of various religions, cults, and sciences. His exploration of topics ranging from modern psychology to ancient magic demonstrates his commitment to understanding the mind's workings from multiple perspectives. Bristol emphasizes the importance of individual thinking and doing, asserting that true success arises from independent thought and deliberate action fueled by unwavering belief. He encourages readers to cultivate a mindset of self-reliance and take ownership of their own destinies. The introduction also underscores the book's practical nature and its relevance to the post-war world. Written for a broad audience, including veterans seeking to re-establish themselves in civilian life, The Magic of Believing offers a roadmap for success applicable to anyone with ambition and the willingness to apply its principles. The concludes by addressing potential skepticism, acknowledging that some may dismiss his ideas as crackpot or screwball. However, he stands firm in his conviction, presenting his message with sincerity and a genuine desire to help readers achieve their aspirations. Through his compelling narrative, Bristol paints a picture of a world ripe with opportunities for those willing to embrace the power of belief. He invites readers to embark on a transformative journey of self-discovery, empowering them to unlock their true potential and shape their own destinies. To illustrate his point, Bristol offers several compelling examples throughout the book. 1. His own financial turnaround. Facing bankruptcy during the economic crisis, Bristol employed the principles of belief to save his company from ruin. By instilling a positive mindset in his employees and focusing their thoughts on success, he witnessed the most remarkable transformation of individuals and organization. This personal experience served as a testament to the power of belief in overcoming adversity. 2. A friend's manifestation of gasoline coupons. During a time of rationing, a friend of Bristol desperately needed gasoline coupons to go duck hunting. By consistently visualizing himself receiving the coupons and holding a firm belief that he would get them, he was able to acquire more than enough. This example illustrates the power of belief in influencing external events, even in seemingly impossible circumstances. 3. The success of a grocery chain's sales campaign. Bristol recounts an experiment where managers of a grocery store chain train their employees to visualize customers purchasing specific items. The results were remarkable, with sales of the targeted items increasing dramatically. This example highlights the practical application of belief and visualization in achieving tangible business outcomes. 4. The case of a printer finding parking spaces. A printer, after reading Bristol's manuscript, decided to test the power of belief by visualizing himself finding a parking space near Bristol's office. To his astonishment, he found a convenient parking spot with ease. This seemingly mundane example underscores the far-reaching effects of belief, even in everyday situations. 5. An insurance salesman's successful approach. An insurance salesman, facing a notoriously difficult prospect, used the mirror technique to strengthen his belief in his ability to close the deal. By practicing his presentation and visualizing success in front of a mirror, he instilled confidence in himself and ultimately secured the sale. This example demonstrates the practical application of visualization techniques in overcoming challenges and achieving success. The introduction of the magic of believing lays the groundwork for a transformative journey of self-discovery and empowerment. It challenges readers to shed limiting beliefs, embrace the power of their minds, and unlock their true potential by cultivating unwavering belief in themselves and their aspirations. Chapter 1. How I Came to Tap the Power of Belief serves as Bristol's personal testament to the principles he outlines in The Magic of Believing. It is a captivating narrative of his own journey toward understanding and harnessing the power of belief, interwoven with anecdotes and insights that ground his theories in real-world experiences. Bristol sets the stage by posing a fundamental question: is there a something, a force, a factor, a power, a science, call it what you will, which a few people understand and use to overcome their difficulties and achieve outstanding success? He firmly believes the answer is yes, and he aims to demystify this power, making it accessible to anyone willing to embrace it. He traces his initial exposure to the power of belief back to a seemingly insignificant moment, a night in 1919 when he decided he would one day have a lot of money. He didn't realize at the time the profound impact this simple act of belief would have on his life. This seemingly insignificant decision set in motion a chain of events that would lead him to explore the depths of the human mind and its potential. Bristol's exploration of belief took him on a multifaceted journey. As a young reporter, he encountered individuals claiming extraordinary abilities, such as kahunas who could allegedly influence life and death through prayer. He investigated a wide array of practices, from fortune-telling to spiritualistic mediums, observing firsthand the power of belief in shaping experiences. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, he delved into numerous books on psychology, metaphysics, and various belief systems, seeking answers and explanations. Through his extensive investigations, Bristol discovered a common thread running through all the teachings and practices that yielded positive results: belief. He became convinced that this seemingly simple concept held the key to unlocking human potential and achieving success in all areas of life. Bristol recounts a pivotal experience aboard a ship in 1934, where he was unexpectedly invited to dine at the captain's table despite being an ordinary passenger. He attributes this fortunate event to the workings of belief, suggesting that his subconscious mind somehow influenced the captain's decision. While skeptics might attribute this to coincidence, Bristol believes it was a tangible manifestation of his subconscious mind at work. Throughout the chapter, Bristol weaves in personal anecdotes that demonstrate the practical application of belief in his own life. He describes how he used belief to save his investment banking firm from bankruptcy during the economic crisis, transforming a fear-stricken organization into a thriving one. He shares a letter from the head of a Better Business Bureau who investigated Bristol's work and concluded that his teachings had a significant positive impact on businesses in the area. Bristol acknowledges that his ideas might be met with skepticism, particularly from those entrenched in conventional thinking. He recounts a conversation with medical professionals who dismissed the idea of mind influencing physical healing, despite documented evidence to the contrary. He recognizes the resistance many face when encountering concepts that challenge their established beliefs, emphasizing that the true test lies in personal experimentation and observation. Chapter 1 serves as a compelling introduction to Bristol's philosophy, revealing the profound impact belief has had on his life and laying the foundation for the practical techniques he will outline in subsequent chapters. Through his personal narrative, he invites readers to embark on their own journey of self-discovery, urging them to embrace the power of belief and unlock their true potential. 5 illustrative examples of the power of belief. 1. The turning point on a troop train. In the spring of 1919, during a long, sleepless night on a crowded troop train, a young Bristol found himself consumed by bitterness over his lack of spending money. It was in that moment of frustration that he resolved, when I returned to civilian life, I would have a lot of money. The whole pattern of my life was altered at that moment. While he didn't fully grasp the significance of his decision at the time, it planted a seed of belief that would eventually lead him to financial success and a deeper exploration of the mind's power. 2. The captain's intuition. Years later, while on a ship voyage, Bristol experienced a seemingly inexplicable stroke of luck. He was invited to dine at the captain's table despite being an ordinary passenger. When Bristol later wrote to the captain seeking an explanation, the captain replied, "Something told me to seat you at my table. Beyond that I cannot explain, any more than I can explain how I can frequently stop my ship at the right spot at the pier at the first try." Bristol interprets this event as a manifestation of his subconscious belief in his own worthiness, influencing the captain's intuition. 3. Saving a business from ruin. When Bristol's investment banking firm faced imminent bankruptcy during the economic crisis, he credits the principles of belief with saving the company. He recognized that fear was permeating the organization, attracting financial disaster. By shifting the mindset of his employees and focusing their thoughts on success, he witnessed a remarkable turnaround. As Frank W. Camp, who wrote the introduction to Bristol's earlier brochure, stated, this shift in belief resulted in the most remarkable transformation of individuals and organization as well. 4. The power of visualizing gasoline coupons. During a period of gas rationing, a friend of Bristol desperately desired to go duck hunting but lacked the necessary coupons. He decided to harness the power of belief by persistently visualizing himself receiving the coupons and holding unwavering faith that they would manifest. To his astonishment, he got more coupons than you could shake a stick at. This anecdote highlights the potential for belief to influence external circumstances, even in seemingly improbable situations. 5. The printer's parking space manifestation. A printer, after reading Bristol's manuscript about the power of belief, decided to test the theory himself. He visualized finding a parking space near Bristol's office and, upon arriving, effortlessly secured a prime spot. When questioned about this fortunate event, the printer replied, "If the stuff actually works as the author claims, then I ought to be able to find a parking space close to his office when I go to see him." This seemingly mundane example serves to underscore the far-reaching effects of belief in everyday life. Chapter 2, Mind Stuff Experiments, shifts from personal anecdotes to a more analytical exploration of thought and its influence on the world. This chapter encourages readers to engage with the concept of thought as a tangible force with measurable effects, paving the way for the practical techniques outlined in later chapters. Bristol begins by emphasizing the ubiquity of thought, noting that its manifestations are visible everywhere, from the actions of children to the intricate designs of complex machines. He asserts that everything we see around us originated as a thought in someone's mind. The automobile, the skyscraper, the great planes that sweep the stratosphere, the sewing machine, the tiny pin, 1,001 things, yes, millions of objects, where did they come from originally? Only one source. From that strange force, thought. This observation serves to elevate the significance of thought, positioning it as the fundamental building block of our reality. He underscores the critical role of belief in bringing thoughts into material form. He uses the analogy of water and chemicals composing the human body, arguing that it is the mind and its beliefs that truly define an individual. The secret of success lies not without, but within, the thoughts of man. He emphasizes that thought can empower individuals to overcome obstacles and achieve their goals, while limiting beliefs can hinder progress and lead to failure. Bristol delves into the concept of the subconscious mind, a powerful force operating below the level of conscious awareness. He highlights its influence in shaping our thoughts, feelings, and actions, emphasizing its ability to be harnessed for personal growth and achievement. It, the subconscious mind, is a repository of spontaneous impressions of men and nature, and a memory vault in which are kept the records of facts and experiences that are sent down to it from time to time by the conscious mind, and it is this same subconscious mind that is often responsible for bringing into materialization those things which we most greatly desire. To bridge the gap between abstract concepts and tangible experiences, Bristol introduces a series of experiments designed to demonstrate the power of thought. He describes how individuals can influence the movement of a piece of paper balanced on a needlepoint using focused thought and concentration. At first it will wobble, perhaps revolving slowly at first and in one direction or the other, but if your hands remain steady and you concentrate upon a certain direction of movement, the paper will revolve until it turns rapidly upon the needle point. He suggests that this experiment, along with others like it, illustrate the principles of psychokinesis, the ability of the mind to influence physical objects. Bristol draws parallels between these experiments and phenomena like table lifting, automatic writing, and Ouija board experiences, suggesting that they operate on similar principles of thought-generated energy influencing physical matter. He further cites scientific research conducted at Duke University by Dr. J.B. Rhine, who demonstrated the existence of psychokinesis through controlled experiments with dice throws. Since when experiments of this type were started, there have been many tests in which millions of throws of the dice have been made. The results were such as to cause Dr. Rhine to declare that there is no better explanation than the subjects influenced the fall of the dice without any recognized physical contacts with them. He argues that these findings provide scientific evidence for the power of thought to influence the physical world. Bristol concludes the chapter by emphasizing the importance of understanding the vibrational nature of thought, comparing it to the radiating energy of a radio station. He suggests that thoughts possess varying degrees of intensity and power, with more focused and persistent thoughts having a greater impact on the world around us. This understanding lays the groundwork for the practical techniques of thought control and manifestation presented in later chapters. Bristol serves as a bridge between the theoretical framework of belief and its practical application. It encourages readers to view thought as a dynamic force with tangible consequences, paving the way for them to actively engage with the power of their own minds. Here are 5 narratives from Mind Stuff experiments that demonstrate the power of thought. 1. The rotating paper pyramid. Bristol encourages readers to try a simple experiment to experience the power of psychokinesis firsthand. He instructs them to create a small pyramid from a piece of paper, balance it on a needle point, and then attempt to influence its rotation using only concentrated thought. He suggests holding your hands around the paper, about half an inch away, to eliminate the possibility of air currents affecting its movement. Now order it to revolve upon the needle point. At first it will wobble, perhaps revolving slowly at first and in one direction or the other, but if your hands remain steady and you concentrate upon a certain direction of movement, the paper will revolve until it turns rapidly upon the needle point. If you mentally order a change in direction, the paper will respond. This experiment offers a tangible way to experience the potential influence of thought on physical objects. 2. The clock-faced dialet. Building on the previous experiment, Bristol introduces the dialet, a cardboard disc resembling a clock face, balanced on a needle point and submerged in water. The operator focuses their thought on the arrow-shaped indicator, attempting to influence its movement or position on the clock face. Bristol emphasizes that the effectiveness of these experiments might vary between individuals, as the power of mental concentration and projection differs. However, it must be recognized in all these experiments that not everyone can immediately get satisfactory results, because the power of mind or thought concentration and projective influence varies in individuals. This acknowledges the individual differences in harnessing mental power, but encourages persistence and practice. 3. The gambler's winning streak. Bristol recounts the story of a man who possesses an uncanny ability to win at punch boards. This individual attributes his success not to luck, but to a focused mental state and unwavering belief in his ability to win. I never go near a punch board unless I am in the mood for it, and that means that I must be in the frame of mind that I'm going to win. I've noticed that if there's the slightest doubt in my mind, I don't win. but I can't recall the time that I didn't get winning numbers when the winning idea was firmly fixed in my mind before I started to play. This anecdote, while presented without scientific backing, highlights the potential connection between mental state, belief, and outcomes, even in games of chance. 4. The power of concentration in dice experiments. Bristol references the groundbreaking research of Dr. J.B. Rhine at Duke University, specifically his experiments exploring the phenomenon of psychokinesis, the influence of the mind on matter. In these experiments, dice were thrown using a mechanical device to eliminate human manipulation, and participants attempted to influence the outcome using mental concentration. The results defied traditional mathematical odds, leading Dr. Rhine to conclude that the participants were indeed influencing the fall of the dice without any physical contact. By mentally concentrating upon the appearance of certain numbers, while at the same time they stood at a distance to avoid all physical contact with the mechanical thrower and with the dice, the experimenters were frequently able to control the dice. These experiments, conducted in controlled settings, provide scientific evidence for the influence of thought on the physical world. 5. Disrupting psychokinetic abilities with skepticism. Bristol describes further experiments at Duke University that investigated the impact of external influences on psychokinetic abilities. Researchers discovered that a subject's performance in these tasks could be significantly hindered by the presence of a skeptical observer. Dr. Rhine, who discovered in his psychokinesis tests that when a subject operated in the presence of an observer who tried to distract him and depress his scoring, the results were always below expectancy. This finding underscores the importance of belief and mental focus in influencing outcomes, emphasizing the potential impact of negative thoughts and skepticism on these processes. Chapter 3: What the Subconscious Is. Bristol dives into the nature and function of the subconscious mind, a key player in Bristol's philosophy of belief. Building on the foundation laid in the previous chapter, this section seeks to clarify the role of the subconscious in manifesting desires and achieving success. Bristol establishes the significance of the subconscious by referencing renowned French psychologist Gustave Gellie, who stressed the vital role of the subconscious in achieving optimal results in life. Gellie advocated for harmony and cooperation between the conscious and subconscious minds, highlighting the historical neglect of the subconscious as a mere byproduct of illness or injury. Bristol emphasized the dual nature of the human mind, acknowledging the conscious and subconscious as distinct entities with unique attributes and capabilities. The conscious mind, operating within the brain, governs rational thought, awareness, and decision-making. It enables logical reasoning, comprehension of the external world through the five senses, and the ability to analyze and synthesize information. Bristol introduced the subconscious mind as a reservoir of power residing below the level of conscious awareness. It's described as a storehouse of instinctual drives, emotions, memories, and impressions gathered through life experiences. The subconscious operates intuitively, functioning independently of the conscious mind, particularly during sleep or when the conscious mind is overwhelmed. Bristol outlined three primary functions of the subconscious mind. 1. Maintaining bodily functions. The subconscious regulates vital processes like breathing, digestion, and heartbeat, ensuring the body's survival without conscious effort. 2. Responding to emergencies. In moments of crisis, the subconscious takes control, enabling rapid and often superhuman responses to protect the individual. 3. Operating in the psychic realm, the subconscious governs psychic abilities like telepathy, clairvoyance, and psychokinesis, bridging the gap between the physical and non-physical realms. Bristol suggests that the subconscious mind can be actively engaged to solve problems, overcome obstacles, and manifest desires. He presents a four-step technique for accessing its power. 1. Identify a worthy desire. Focus on something that is ethically sound, personally meaningful, and within your capabilities. 2. Cultivate unwavering belief. Maintain absolute faith in the power of the subconscious to deliver, recognizing that doubt can hinder its effectiveness. 3. Visualize the desired outcome. Create a vivid mental picture of your goal as if it has already been achieved, allowing the subconscious to work towards its manifestation. 4. Act on subconscious guidance. be receptive to the insights and intuitive prompts that emerge from the subconscious, acting on them promptly and without hesitation. Bristol acknowledged that the subconscious may not always provide clear-cut solutions. Sometimes, its guidance comes as a series of seemingly unconnected urges or intuitions. Nevertheless, you must continue to believe in the power and wisdom of the subconscious, and obediently perform the seemingly irrelevant things. One day you will find yourself in the position you sought through the aid of the subconscious, and doing the work you envisioned for yourself. It is by following this intuitive guidance with faith and persistence that the subconscious ultimately leads individuals towards their goals. Bristol provide anecdotal evidence to illustrate the power of the subconscious in action, featuring individuals who have successfully harnessed it to achieve various outcomes. 1. Dana Sleeth, a columnist and farmer, credits his subconscious mind for providing story ideas and helping him locate lost tools. Ideas for feature stories have often come to me when I was engaged in such lowly tasks as stump grubbing. And as for locating lost tools, it's a knockout. You know, nothing is ever lost, it's just misplaced. It's right there to be found if you order your subconscious mind to locate it. 2. Lewis Bromfield, an American novelist, relies on his subconscious mind to resolve creative challenges while he sleeps. He describes waking up with solutions to plot, character, or technical issues that had previously stumped him. Very often I have awakened in the morning to find a problem of technique, or plot, or character, which had long been troubling me, completely solved while I had been sleeping. These examples, while lacking rigorous scientific backing, highlight the potential of the subconscious mind to provide creative inspiration, practical solutions, and a sense of inner knowing. They reinforce Bristol's core message: the subconscious mind, when properly understood and engaged, can become a powerful ally in achieving personal and professional goals. Here are more 5 narrative examples that shed light on the nature and workings of the subconscious mind. 1. The problem-solving power of sleep. Bristol recounts a personal experience of struggling to solve a difficult problem, only to find the solution revealed to him upon waking the next morning. He describes the process of releasing the problem from his conscious mind before sleep, allowing the subconscious to take over and work its magic. The next morning when you wake up, your conscious mind begins to think again about the problem, when suddenly there appears before your mind's eyes a mental picture of your problem, completely solved and with all the necessary directions for appropriate action on your part. Where did the thought go when you released it from your conscious mind, and through what power inside of you was the problem solved? This anecdote demonstrates the problem-solving capacity of the subconscious mind, particularly when the conscious mind is at rest. 2. The drunken host's transformation. Bristol shares a compelling story about witnessing a drunken man regain sobriety through a self-administered ritual involving a mirror. The man repeatedly affirmed his sobriety while staring into his reflection, experiencing a rapid and dramatic transformation. As he kept repeating these words, while continuing to stare at the reflection of his eyes in the mirror, I noticed that a transfiguration was taking place. His body was becoming more erect, the muscles of his face were tightening, and his drunken look was disappearing. This narrative illustrates the power of autosuggestion and the mirror technique in influencing the subconscious mind, highlighting its capacity to override even deeply ingrained physical and mental states. 3. The case of Opal Whiteley and the power of belief. Bristol explores the enigmatic story of Opal Whiteley, a young woman who claimed to be the lost daughter of French royalty. He examines the conflicting accounts surrounding her life, particularly the authenticity of her childhood diary. Despite questions surrounding her true origins, Opal's unwavering belief in her royal lineage led to her acceptance as a princess in India. Reading Mr. Sedgwick's own story of this strange girl, it would appear that he is also convinced that Opal's real parents were of royal blood. And it must be remembered that Opal as a young woman traveled extensively in India, where she was accepted as a princess. This account showcases the power of sustained belief in shaping reality and influencing the perceptions of others. 4. Accessing subconscious power through repetition. Bristol discusses the effectiveness of repetition in impressing ideas upon the subconscious mind, referencing the ancient story of Milo and the calf. Milo's daily practice of lifting the calf eventually enabled him to lift a full-grown bull, illustrating the cumulative power of consistent action and suggestion. A great example of power developed by repetition is the story of Milo and the calf. Every day he lifted the calf, and then came the day when he was lifting a full-grown bull. Think of all of this in terms of the so-called material things. You know that two objects cannot fill the same space at the same time. This analogy underscores the importance of repeated affirmations and visualizations in influencing the subconscious mind and ultimately shaping reality. 5. Tapping the subconscious for creative inspiration. Bristol presents the story of Angela Lansbury, a young actress, who credits her success to her ability to access the resources of her subconscious mind. He emphasizes the importance of self-suggestion, visualization, and feeding the subconscious mind with knowledge and experiences to fuel its creative output. Angela has schooled herself in the technique of this self-suggestion. Since first she chose acting as a career, she has constantly held in her mind a picture of what she aspires to achieve. She has even, she confessed, written down from time to time the goals she wants to reach. This narrative demonstrates the power of consciously engaging the subconscious mind to unlock creative potential and achieve remarkable results in chosen fields. Chapter 4: Suggestion is Power. Bristol explores the profound impact of suggestion on individual belief and behavior. This chapter emphasizes that suggestion, whether originating from oneself, autosuggestion, or external sources, heterosuggestion, acts as a catalyst, activating the subconscious mind to manifest desires and shape reality. The power of belief. Bristol highlight the transformative power of belief, asserting that believing in one's ability to achieve something is often the key to its accomplishment. Whatever the task, if it is begun with the belief that you can do it, it will be done perfectly. Often belief enables a person to do what others think is impossible. It is the act of believing that is the starting force or generating power that leads to accomplishment. This concept echoes the key takeaway from the previous chapter, where cultivating unwavering belief is presented as a crucial step in engaging the subconscious mind. Suggestion is the trigger. Bristol identifies suggestion as the mechanism that ignites belief and sets the subconscious mind into motion. It is the power of suggestion, and autosuggestion, your own to yourself, or heterosuggestion, coming to you from outside sources, that starts the machinery into operation or causes the subconscious mind to begin its creative work, and right here is where the affirmations and repetitions play their part. This statement reinforces the idea that repeated affirmations and visualizations, as discussed in Chapter 3, are potent forms of autosuggestion. Harnessing suggestion for good and evil. Bristol acknowledged that suggestion can be employed for both constructive and destructive purposes. Examples like Hitler's propaganda machine and Mussolini's manipulative slogans demonstrate the dangerous potential of suggestion when used to control and manipulate the masses. This is the identical force and the same mechanics that Hitler used in building up the German people to attack the world. This underscores the ethical responsibility inherent in wielding the power of suggestion. The role of repetition. Bristol emphasized the significance of repetition in amplifying the impact of suggestion. Constant exposure to certain ideas, whether through slogans, chants, or affirmations, gradually imprints them upon the subconscious mind, fostering belief and ultimately shaping behavior. It's the repetition of the same chant, the same incantations, the same affirmations that leads to belief, and once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. This concept aligns with the Milo and the calf analogy presented in Chapter 3, further reinforcing the power of consistent action and suggestion. Everyday applications of suggestion. Bristol provide examples of suggestion operating in various aspects of life, including 1. Advertising. The persistent repetition of marketing messages aims to implant the suggestion that a particular product is desirable and necessary. 2. Religious teachings. The repeated exposure to religious doctrines from childhood onward shapes beliefs and moral values. 3. Sports psychology. Coaches and athletes utilize motivational speeches and visualizations to instill belief in their abilities and achieve peak performance. 4. Social conformity. Societal norms and expectations, reinforced through constant exposure, influence individual behavior and decision-making. Counteracting negative suggestion. Bristol advised readers to be mindful of the negative suggestions they encounter and consciously counteract them with positive affirmations and thoughts. Many people become confused and frustrated because they allow themselves to be influenced by negative thoughts of others. This is a weakness of many salesmen, when they absorb too much of what the prospect says about his reasons for not doing something, such as buying. This emphasizes the importance of maintaining mental vigilance and actively cultivating a positive mental environment. Bristol expands on the foundation laid in Chapter 3, transitioning from the theoretical understanding of the subconscious mind to the practical application of suggestion as a means of influencing it. The examples presented in this chapter highlight the pervasive nature of suggestion in shaping individual beliefs, behaviors, and ultimately, outcomes. By understanding the mechanics of suggestion and its impact on the subconscious mind, individuals can learn to harness its power for personal growth and achievement while guarding against its potential for manipulation and harm. Here are 5 examples that showcase the power of suggestion in action. 1. The "We can beat them" rallying cry. Bristol emphasizes the power of suggestion in group settings, particularly when a leader instills belief and inspires action. "Come on, fellows, we can beat them," shouts someone in command, whether in a football game, on the battlefield, or in the strife of the business world. That sudden voicing of belief, challenging and electrifying, reverses the whole mental attitude of the group and often brings victory out of what appeared to be certain defeat. This illustrates the contagious nature of belief and how a powerful suggestion, delivered with conviction, can galvanize individuals to achieve extraordinary results. 2. Hitler's propaganda machine. Bristol provides a stark example of suggestion's potential for manipulation and control, referencing Hitler's strategic use of propaganda to sway the German people. This is the identical force and the same mechanics that Hitler used in building up the German people to attack the world. A reading of his Mein Kampf will verify that. Dr. René Fauvel, a famous French psychologist, explained it by saying that Hitler had a remarkable understanding of the law of suggestion and its different forms of application, and that it was with uncanny skill and masterly showmanship that he mobilized every instrument of propaganda in his mighty campaign of suggestion. This chilling illustration underscores the responsibility associated with understanding and applying the principles of suggestion. 3. Knute Rockne's inspiring halftime speech. Bristol recounts a story about legendary football coach Knute Rockne, who used a powerful suggestion to motivate his team during a challenging game. The door closed and Rockne was gone. Puzzled and then stung with fury, the team went out for the second half and won the game. This narrative demonstrates how a well-timed, emotionally charged suggestion can trigger a shift in mindset and unleash untapped potential. 4. The power of visualizing success in golf. Bristol uses the example of professional golfer Cyril Tolley to illustrate the effectiveness of visualization in achieving desired outcomes. Tolley explained that he eliminated all negative mental pictures of bunkers, traps, etc., and played every shot as though he had a clear course to the green. In other words, his plan was to play every shot perfectly, and he held to this belief. This example highlights the importance of focusing on the desired outcome and using mental imagery to reinforce positive expectations. 5. Influencing outcomes through focused thought. Bristol shares an anecdote about a friend who successfully manifested additional gasoline coupons during wartime rationing by persistently visualizing himself receiving them. "I had just about given up the idea of duck shooting this fall when the thought occurred to me that I could put this mind stuff to work and get some more gas." Of course, everyone around the office knew that I wanted to go duck shooting, and most of them knew of my problem. Whether they passed out word to their friends I do not know, but I got more coupons than you could shake a stick at. I had a constant picture of going hunting and using my automobile and of someone giving me coupons. It may be hooey, but I got the gasoline coupons. Even a farmer friend gave me gas out of his allotment. This narrative, while anecdotal, suggests that focused thought, coupled with a strong belief, can influence external circumstances and attract desired outcomes. Chapter 5. The Art of Mental Pictures. The art of mental pictures centers on the potent technique of making mental pictures, a concept often referred to as visualization. This chapter builds upon the foundation laid in the previous chapters, emphasizing that harnessing the power of the subconscious mind requires not only belief and suggestion but also the ability to vividly imagine the desired outcome. Mental pictures as the blueprint for manifestation. The chapter underscores that mental pictures act as blueprints, providing the subconscious mind with clear instructions for bringing desires into reality. Creative force comes only when there is a completely rounded out thought, when there is a fully developed mental picture, or when the imagination can visualize the fulfillment of our ambition and see in our mind a picture of the object we desire, a house, a car, a radio, etc., just as if we already possessed them. This concept reinforces the interconnectedness of thought, belief, and action, emphasizing that mental imagery is a crucial step in the manifestation process. The subconscious mind's response to imagery. The chapter explains that the subconscious mind, while receptive to suggestions, responds most powerfully to vivid mental images. It is pretty well agreed that the subconscious mind works as a result of images thrown upon its screen, but if there is something wrong with your projection apparatus or the original slide, then the projected image is blurred, inverted, or a total blank. This analogy highlights the importance of clarity and focus in mental imagery, suggesting that doubts, fears, and distractions can hinder the subconscious mind's ability to effectively manifest desires. The role of imagination and visualization. The chapter distinguishes between daydreaming and the intentional use of imagination for achieving goals. But daydreaming or mere undirected wishful thinking doesn't have the power to release the latent forces within you that will bring you the $100,000 or the mansion. The emphasis here is on actively engaging the imagination, creating specific mental images that align with desired outcomes, and taking concrete actions to move towards those goals. Practical applications of mental pictures. The chapter offers various examples of how mental pictures can be applied in different areas of life. 1. Achieving financial success. Get the picture of what you want and keep telling yourself that you're going to get it. Visualizing financial abundance and taking aligned actions can attract wealth and prosperity. 2. Landing the dream job. Therefore, visualize the kind of job you want, and use your cards and your constant affirmations until belief in your goal becomes a vital part of you and you feel it in your blood, your bones, and in every tissue of your body. Creating a clear mental image of holding the desired job and consistently reinforcing that image can lead to its manifestation. 3. Enhancing athletic performance. One finds the same sort of magic at work in all fields of sports. Great baseball batters, expert forward passers in football, accurate drop kickers, all consciously or unconsciously picture connecting with the ball and placing it where they want it to go. Athletes who visualize their success and practice with intention are more likely to achieve peak performance. 4. Overcoming fears and mental blocks. In observing many pool and billiard games, I am convinced that certain skilled players influence the direction and fall of the balls by mind control, although they may be completely in ignorance of the power they are using. Visualizing success in challenging situations can help overcome mental barriers and achieve desired outcomes. The importance of concentration and repetition. The chapter emphasizes that the effectiveness of mental pictures is amplified through concentration and repetition. However, it must be recognized in all these experiments that not everyone can immediately get satisfactory results, because the power of mind or thought concentration and projective influence varies in individuals. Just as suggestion requires consistent reinforcement, so too does visualization. Regularly engaging in visualization exercises and maintaining focus on the desired outcome strengthens the connection between the conscious and subconscious mind, accelerating the manifestation process. Techniques for enhancing visualization. The chapter provides specific techniques for enhancing the clarity and effectiveness of mental pictures. 1. The card technique. Writing down desired goals on cards and placing them in strategic locations serves as a visual reminder and reinforces the mental image throughout the day. 2. The mirror technique. Practicing desired behaviors and affirmations in front of a mirror strengthens the mental image and boosts self-confidence. Bristol serves as a practical guide to harnessing the power of visualization, explaining how mental pictures can be used to achieve goals, overcome challenges, and shape reality. By understanding the mechanics of visualization and incorporating the suggested techniques, individuals can tap into the immense potential of their subconscious mind and manifest their desires with greater clarity and intention. Here are 5 narrative examples that illustrate the power of mental pictures in action. 1. Building a boat, manifesting tools. Bristol shares the story of a friend who, despite having no prior experience in boat building, decided to construct a boat. As he progressed, he needed specific tools, including an electric drill and a bandsaw. Rather than purchasing these tools, he held a mental picture of acquiring them without spending money. In the course of the construction, he found that he needed an electric drill, but he didn't want to spend $15 or $20 for the kind he wanted, especially when it would be used only a few months. First, he tried renting a drill, but inasmuch as he was working on his boat only a few hours each day, he found that it was too expensive. Then he thought of borrowing one, but the thought came that the one he wanted was too special to be easily borrowed. So he let the matter drop for a day or two, but all the time he had a mental picture of getting the use of one without buying it. That's all there was to it. He was provided with the tool without cost. Similarly, when he needed a bandsaw, his focused desire led him to a woodworking shop where he could use one for a small fee. Through a series of serendipitous events, he ended up using the bandsaw in his own garage without any cost. This narrative suggests that holding a clear mental picture of a desired outcome, even without a concrete plan, can attract the necessary resources and opportunities to achieve it. 2. Repairing a car through belief. Bristol recounts an experience with a mechanic who believed in the power of thought. After fixing Bristol's car, the mechanic shared several instances where his belief had yielded remarkable results. I casually remarked, "Belief is a great thing, isn't it?" "You bet it is. Thought is the greatest force in the world, and the dumb ducks laugh when you talk about it," he answered rather caustically. I'm interested," I replied. "Tell me of some instances where you have demonstrated the power of thought." "I could keep you here all day telling you of its power, at least in my own life." The mechanic recounted how he had recovered from a broken back after doctors predicted he would be crippled for life. He attributed his healing to his unwavering belief in his full recovery. This example highlights the power of belief in overcoming physical limitations and achieving seemingly impossible outcomes. 3. Finding a parking space through visualization. Bristol describes an incident where an editor, after reading his manuscript about the power of belief, decided to test the concept. He visualized finding a parking space near Bristol's office and, to his astonishment, manifested it with ease. Naturally, I asked if there were anything wrong, and he spluttered, "Just had the oddest experience. I took your manuscript home last night and read it, and I said to myself, if the stuff actually works as the author claims, then I ought to be able to find a parking space close to his office when I go to see him." I thought no more about it until I was driving from our plant to your office just a few minutes ago, and then the thought again occurred to me that it might work. Well, I turned the corner and there it was. This anecdote, though seemingly trivial, reinforces the idea that even mundane desires can be manifested through focused visualization. 4. Attracting gasoline coupons through mental imagery. Bristol shares the experience of a friend who, during wartime rationing, needed more gasoline coupons to go duck hunting. He vividly imagined receiving coupons and, remarkably, people began offering him extra coupons. Now let's take this same science into the kitchen. Did it ever occur to you that the so-called good cooks use this same science, although they may be completely ignorant of its workings? They put their hearts and souls into the making of a cake or a pie because they believe in them and call upon them. So put your heart and soul into the next pie you make, and even you will be surprised at the result when you see the realization of your mental picture of the perfect pie. This narrative suggests that focused thought, combined with a strong belief, can influence external circumstances and attract desired resources, even in situations where logic might dictate otherwise. 5. General MacArthur's triumphant return. Bristol cites General Douglas MacArthur's declaration, "I shall return," made during his retreat from the Philippines, as a powerful example of belief and visualization in action. Let's take an example out of the war. General Douglas MacArthur declared when he left the Philippines, "I shall return." With our Pacific Fleet in ruins at Pearl Harbor, practically no airplanes or transports at the time, and with the Japanese in control of most of the South Pacific, MacArthur had no physical evidence that he would ever return. However, he must have had a mental picture of his return or he would have never made the statement. It was a statement of confidence or belief, and history relates his triumphant return. Despite the dire circumstances and lack of tangible evidence, MacArthur's unwavering belief in his return, likely fueled by a clear mental picture of achieving it, contributed to its eventual manifestation. This historical example underscores the power of conviction and mental imagery to shape reality, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Chapter 6: The Mirror Technique for Releasing the Subconscious. Bristol introduces the mirror technique, a potent method for engaging the subconscious mind and accelerating the manifestation process. This technique builds upon the concepts of belief, suggestion, and mental imagery discussed in previous chapters, offering a practical tool for strengthening conviction and projecting desired outcomes into reality. The power of self-suggestion through mirroring. The core principle of the mirror technique lies in leveraging the power of autosuggestion through visual and auditory reinforcement. The mirror technique is a simple and effective method by which a person can strengthen his belief in his own sales ability and thus intensify the power of his enthusiasm. By standing before a mirror and repeatedly affirming desired outcomes and qualities, individuals can directly impress these suggestions upon their subconscious mind. Seeing is believing. Visualizing success in the mirror serves as a visual aid, allowing individuals to see themselves embodying their desired state. This visual reinforcement strengthens the mental image and enhances the belief that the desired outcome is attainable. By looking into the mirror, you increase the mental vibrations by which the force and meaning of your words will quickly penetrate to the subconscious minds of your audience. This process of seeing oneself as successful primes the subconscious mind to align with the desired reality. Hearing is reinforcing, auditory confirmation of desires. The act of speaking affirmations aloud in front of the mirror adds an auditory dimension to the autosuggestion process. Hearing oneself declare desired outcomes reinforces the message and further imprints it upon the subconscious mind. Now breathe deeply 3 or 4 times until you feel a sense of power, strength, and determination. Next, look into the very depths of your eyes. Tell yourself that you are going to get what you want. Name it aloud so you can see your lips move and you can hear the words uttered. This multisensory approach enhances the effectiveness of the mirror technique. Beyond vanity, the transformative potential of mirroring. The chapter emphasizes that the mirror technique goes beyond mere vanity. It serves as a tool for self-improvement and personal transformation. Vanity has no part in this science. Consequently, don't use the mirror in a supercilious manner, but use it to build yourself into the person you wish to be. By consistently visualizing and affirming desired qualities, individuals can gradually shape their personality and behavior in alignment with their aspirations. Applications of the mirror technique. The chapter highlights various applications of the mirror technique. 1. Boosting sales performance. Every salesman has heard the statement, if you can convince yourself, you can convince the other fellow, which is basically true. Salespeople can use the mirror technique to strengthen their belief in their product or service, enhance their sales pitch, and project confidence to potential customers. 2. Overcoming fears and insecurities. If you are planning to call on an exceptionally tough prospect or are proposing to interview the boss whom you may have previously feared, use the mirror technique and keep it up until you are convinced that you can make the proper presentation without any trepidation. Individuals can use the mirror technique to address specific fears or insecurities, visualize themselves successfully navigating challenging situations, and build self-assurance. 3. Enhancing public speaking skills. And of course, if you are called upon to make a speech, by all means practice before a mirror. Speakers can rehearse their presentations in front of a mirror, refine their delivery, and project confidence to their audience. 4. Building self-esteem and confidence. Don't forget that every idea presented to the subconscious mind is going to be produced in its exact counterpart in objective life, and the quicker your subconscious gets the idea, the sooner your wish becomes a picture of power. By consistently affirming positive qualities and visualizing themselves as confident and successful, individuals can gradually internalize these beliefs and manifest them in their external world. The Mirror Technique, a Master Key to the Subconscious. Chapter 6 presents the mirror technique as a powerful tool for accessing and influencing the subconscious mind. When the mirror technique is considered in the light of the science given in this book, it becomes a master method by which the mighty forces of the subconscious mind can be employed to influence those with whom you are dealing. By combining visualization, affirmation, and repetition, individuals can tap into their inner resources, strengthen their belief in their abilities, and manifest their desires with greater ease and effectiveness. Here are 5 narrative examples that illustrate the power and application of the mirror technique. 1. Transforming intoxication into sobriety. Bristol shares an anecdote of witnessing a friend, seemingly intoxicated at a dinner party, regain sobriety by using the mirror technique. As I stood there, I saw him grab the edge of the dresser top with both hands and stare into the mirror, all the time mumbling as a drunken man sometimes does. Then his words began to make sense and I moved back a little to watch the performance. I heard him say, "John, you old ______________________________________________________________________________________________________________________ They tried to get you drunk, but you're going to fool them. You're sober, cold sober, this is your party and you've got to be sober." The friend repeatedly affirmed his sobriety while looking into the mirror, leading to a rapid and remarkable transformation. This narrative demonstrates the power of self-suggestion, even in altering a physical state, through focused mirroring. 2. From tears to strength, empowering women through reflection. Bristol describes how he used the mirror technique to help women overcome emotional distress. There were a surprising number of women, and practically all of them started their stories with weeping spells. The first thing I did was to stand them before a full-length mirror and have them take a good look at themselves. I made them look into their eyes and tell me what they saw there, crybabies or fighters. Their crying soon ceased, and those cases convinced me that a woman cannot weep while looking at herself in a mirror. By confronting their reflection and affirming their strength, these women were able to shift their emotional state and replace tears with a sense of empowerment. This example highlights the power of the mirror in challenging negative self-perceptions and promoting self-assurance. 3. Winston Churchill and Woodrow Wilson, mirroring statesmanship. Bristol cites renowned historical figures like Winston Churchill and Woodrow Wilson as practitioners of the mirror technique. Winston Churchill, according to Drew Pearson, never made a speech of importance unless he made it before a mirror first. Pearson also declared that Woodrow Wilson employed the same technique. It's what I call a supercharging method of stepping up the subconscious forces of the speaker so that when he appears before an audience those forces flow out to and affect his listeners. By rehearsing their speeches in front of a mirror, these leaders were able to enhance their delivery, project confidence, and amplify their message's impact. This example underscores the power of mirroring in refining communication skills and strengthening the connection with an audience. 4. Billy Sunday, amplifying evangelism through reflection. Bristol suggests that famed evangelist Billy Sunday's compelling presence and influence might be attributed to his use of the mirror technique. However, we now have proof that Billy Sunday was versed in the use of the mirror technique. It is given by Eric Sevareid, Columbia Broadcasting System commentator, in his book Not So Wild a Dream, published in 1946. Mr. Sevareid tells how he as a young newspaper reporter secured an interview with Billy Sunday. He bounded about the hotel room, now peering intently out of the window, with one foot on the sill, now grasping the dressing table firmly in both hands while lecturing his reflection in the mirror. By practicing his sermons in front of a mirror, Sunday might have enhanced his stage presence, intensified his conviction, and cultivated a captivating magnetism that drew in listeners. This narrative implies that mirroring can be a powerful tool for amplifying charisma and persuasive power. 5. The Pie Salesman, boosting sales through mirrored affirmations. Bristol shares an anecdote of a pie salesman who used the mirror technique to significantly increase his sales. One driver told me that for many months he had been trying to sell one woman restaurant owner, but she had always refused to purchase. Then he decided to try the mirror technique. That day he sold her 10 pies. At the time he related his story to me, he was selling her an average of 15 pies daily. By visualizing his sales goal and affirming it repeatedly in front of a mirror, the salesman was able to enhance his belief in himself and his ability to close the deal. This example illustrates how the mirror technique can be applied in specific sales situations to overcome obstacles and achieve desired results. Chapter 7: How to Project Your Thoughts. Bristol focuses on how to project your thoughts, exploring the concept that thoughts can influence individuals and events, even at a distance. This chapter builds on the foundation laid in previous chapters, which established the power of belief, suggestion, and the subconscious mind. Thought is an invisible force. The chapter contends that thoughts are not merely internal processes but emanate outward as a form of energy that can impact others. This concept is linked to the phenomenon of telepathy, the transmission of thoughts from one mind to another without physical means. If you read this book reflectively, you will understand how the science can be used with terribly destructive force, as well as for good and constructive results. This quote emphasizes the potential impact of thought projection, highlighting its ability to influence both positively and negatively. Thought projection and influence. The chapter emphasizes the role of thought projection in influencing the thoughts, feelings, and actions of others. We radiate our thoughts, perhaps unconsciously, to others, and we affect them. This statement suggests that individuals are constantly broadcasting their thoughts and that these thought vibrations can have a subtle yet powerful impact on those around them. Examples of thought projection in action. The chapter presents various anecdotes and historical examples to illustrate the concept of thought projection. 1. The moth experiment. The story of a male moth finding a female moth miles away is presented as an example of a possible force at work that allows for communication beyond the senses. A female moth of rare species was placed in a room, and 4 miles away a male moth of the same species was released. In a few hours the male moth was found beating its wings against the screen of the window of the room where the female was confined. This example, while not directly explained, suggests a form of communication or attraction beyond known scientific explanations. 2. The case of Opal Whiteley. The chapter discusses Opal Whiteley, a controversial figure who claimed to be of royal lineage and whose diary gained widespread attention. Bristol proposes that Opal might have used telepathic abilities to influence the editor who published her diary. As I studied these words, I wondered if it was really an accident that Mr. Sedgwick should ask for the diary and if this strange girl had not telepathically given the thought to Mr. Sedgwick. This example, though speculative, highlights the possibility of using thought projection to impact events and influence individuals. 3. Successful business practices. Bristol presents numerous anecdotes from business executives who claim to have used thought projection to influence clients and colleagues. A successful book saleswoman told me that if she was satisfied that a customer had the money and really wanted to purchase a book, but was hesitating between 2 choices, she would keep repeating to herself, but directing her thought to the customer, the title of the one best suited to that customer. These examples showcase the potential application of thought projection in achieving business goals and influencing decision-making. Techniques for thought projection. The chapter offers insights into techniques for enhancing thought projection. 1. Visualization. Creating a clear mental picture of the desired outcome is crucial. Always remember that the subconscious mind, in addition to being the seat of intuition, is a repository of great power and has inexhaustible resources. Visualizing the outcome with focused intention is believed to strengthen the thought vibrations and increase their potency. 2. Concentration and focus. Directing thoughts with unwavering focus toward the intended recipient is essential for effective thought projection. Concentration of thought and enthusiasm for the desired results if a person is to be successful in the experiments. Distractions and doubts can weaken the transmission, so maintaining mental clarity is paramount. 3. Belief and conviction. A strong belief in the power of thought projection is essential for its efficacy. Believe that it will work, and it will. On the contrary, believe that it will not work, and it will not. Doubt and skepticism can act as a barrier, while confidence and conviction amplify the power of thought projection. The ethical dimension of thought projection. The chapter acknowledges the ethical considerations surrounding thought projection. Always remember that belief is a power operating destructively or constructively, depending upon the end to which it is employed. While thought projection can be used for positive influence, it can also be misused for manipulation or harmful purposes. The chapter emphasizes the importance of using this power responsibly and ethically. Thought projection, a key to success and influence. Chapter 7 positions thought projection as a powerful tool for personal and professional success. You yourself have this inner spark, but it must be fanned until the fire is of white heat intensity, and it must be constantly stoked, which you do by adding fuel, ideas. By cultivating the ability to project thoughts effectively, individuals can influence outcomes, build stronger relationships, and achieve their goals. Chapter 8, Women and the Science of Belief. Bristol focuses on women and the science of belief, arguing that women possess an inherent capacity to harness this science effectively. The chapter highlights numerous examples of women throughout history who have leveraged the power of belief to achieve remarkable accomplishments and overcome societal barriers. Women and their unique advantage. The chapter emphasizes the distinctive blend of intuition and reasoning ability in women, making them adept practitioners of the science of belief. Now the women of modern times have a unique advantage, I might say, a twofold mental advantage, to their subconscious mind, the skilled use of which is characteristic of their sex and which has been highly developed and been their unconscious, though intuitive, guide through the ages. There has been added their conscious mind, which has been specially developed by the scientific method of modern education. This passage highlights the synergy between women's intuitive grasp of the subconscious mind and their increasingly honed reasoning abilities, leading to a potent combination for achieving their goals. Societal barriers and triumphs. The chapter acknowledges the societal constraints faced by women throughout history, particularly in accessing opportunities and pursuing their ambitions. When I recalled that she had been credited with having had more laws in the interest of women and children passed than any other woman or organization in the state, I realized what it would mean to the world if all women with her vision and driving force undertook to use this science. This quote reflects on the accomplishments of Mrs. R. E. Bondurant, a woman who successfully advocated for women and children's rights despite societal limitations. Illustrious examples of women harnessing belief. The chapter showcases a diverse range of women who exemplify the power of belief in action. 1. Madame Marie Curie. Her unwavering pursuit of scientific knowledge, overcoming gender bias and personal hardships, led to the groundbreaking discovery of radium. As we all know, Madame Curie became one of the most famous women of modern times. The desire to discover what lay behind that strange element all around us known as radioactivity, literally drove Professor Pierre Curie and Marie, his wife, to the epical discovery of radium. This example highlights the power of persistent belief and a clear vision in achieving scientific breakthroughs. 2. Opal Whiteley. Though controversial, her story of believing in her royal lineage and influencing its acceptance is presented as an intriguing example of the power of belief shaping reality. This astounding historical case clearly shows that, as pointed out by William James, belief creates its verification. In fact, it affords unmistakable proof that often events are influenced by our very great desires. This case study underscores the potential of belief to influence circumstances and perceptions, even when the claim's validity is debated. 3. Sister Elizabeth Kenny. Her steadfast belief in her alternative method of treating polio, despite widespread opposition, led to the establishment of the Sister Kenny Institute. One has only to study the photograph of Sister Kenny's face to see in her rugged features the reflection of a powerful mind, which, once in action and aided by a ready tongue, would ultimately help her force her way to victory. This narrative emphasizes the power of unwavering conviction in overcoming professional resistance and achieving recognition for unconventional ideas. 4. Lydia E. Pinkham. From humble beginnings, she built a successful business empire based on her belief in the efficacy of her herbal remedies. Once more, in this extremely remarkable woman, is demonstrated what belief in personal achievement can and does accomplish. Lydia Pinkham's story demonstrates the power of belief in entrepreneurial success, showcasing how a strong conviction in one's product can lead to significant financial achievement. 5. Harriet Beecher Stowe. Driven by a moral imperative, she wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, a novel that ignited anti-slavery sentiment, fueled by her belief in its message and power. Out of her subconscious mind surged long-forgotten memories and photographic impressions, which arranged themselves almost automatically in proper sequence on paper. Harriet Beecher Stowe's story emphasizes the potential of belief to fuel creative expression and societal change, highlighting the power of conviction to drive impactful storytelling. A call to action for women, the chapter encourages women to recognize their inherent capacity for harnessing the science of belief. As I pointed out earlier, wonderful results are brought about by the conscious minds conveying the will to do through believing to the subconscious, and this immediately sets the subconscious in action to carry out the desires of the individual. This statement emphasizes the power of consciously directing belief toward achieving desired outcomes, urging women to embrace their potential. By embracing belief, visualizing their goals, and acting with conviction, women can overcome obstacles and shape their destinies, contributing meaningfully to their personal and professional lives. Chapter 9: Belief Makes Things Happen. Bristol serves as a culminating point in the magic of believing. This chapter reiterates the central premise of the book: belief acts as a potent force capable of shaping reality and influencing outcomes. It expands on previously discussed concepts, emphasizing the practical application of belief in various aspects of life. The all-encompassing nature of belief, the chapter emphasizes that belief extends beyond mere mental acceptance. It permeates every aspect of an individual's being, influencing thoughts, emotions, and actions. This belief changes the tempo of the mind or thought frequency, and, like a huge magnet, draws the subconscious forces into play, changing your whole aura and affecting everything about you, and often people and objects at great distances. This statement illustrates how deeply ingrained belief can transform an individual's energy, impacting their surroundings and interactions with others. Belief as a driving force, the chapter reinforces the notion that belief acts as a catalyst, propelling individuals towards their goals and aspirations. Our fear thoughts are just as creative or just as magnetic in attracting troubles to us as are the constructive and positive thoughts in attracting positive results. This quote highlights the power of belief in shaping experiences, emphasizing that both positive and negative beliefs can manifest in tangible outcomes. Examples of belief in action, the chapter provides diverse examples to demonstrate the tangible impact of belief. 1. Wartime experiences, the chapter cites wartime scenarios where belief played a pivotal role in survival and victory. You may be in a fire, surrounded by flames and enveloped in smoke, and frantic with fear. This same power asserts itself, and you may be saved. These anecdotes emphasize the power of belief in overcoming life-threatening situations, highlighting its potential to trigger survival instincts and inspire courageous actions. 2. The power of national beliefs, the chapter discusses how collective beliefs, such as nationalistic fervor, can mobilize entire nations towards specific objectives. Mussolini, too, used the same law of suggestion in an attempt to make a place for Italy in the sun. This historical example showcases how shared beliefs, propagated through propaganda and social conditioning, can shape the course of history and influence the actions of large populations. 3. The stock market and belief, the chapter examines the influence of belief in the volatile world of the stock market. It is not what will actually happen, but what security holders believe will happen that causes them to buy or sell. This example illustrates how collective beliefs, often fueled by speculation and market sentiment, can drive market fluctuations and impact financial outcomes. 4. The War of the Worlds panic, the chapter recounts the widespread panic caused by the radio broadcast of the War of the Worlds, demonstrating the power of belief, even when based on fictional events. In fact, for a few hours following the broadcast, there was genuine panic among millions of listeners because they believed our Earth was being attacked by invaders from Mars. This incident underscores the profound impact of belief on human behavior, highlighting its ability to trigger emotional responses and influence actions, even in the face of contradictory evidence. Practical applications of belief, the chapter encourages readers to actively cultivate and utilize the power of belief. 1. Sustained thought and visualization, maintaining a focused belief in a desired outcome through persistent thought and visualization is crucial for its manifestation. When this sinks into a man's consciousness, he gets some inkling of the awe-inspiring power which is his to use. This statement emphasizes the importance of consistent mental effort and strengthening belief and directing its power towards desired outcomes. 2. action is a complement to belief. While belief is the driving force, it must be accompanied by action to bring about tangible results. Faith without action is dead. This statement underscores the necessity of translating belief into concrete actions to bridge the gap between mental aspiration and physical manifestation. 3. The role of repetition and affirmations. Repeating affirmations and reinforcing positive beliefs through consistent mental engagement enhances their potency and impact. It's the repetition of the same chant, the same incantations, the same affirmations that leads to belief, and once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. This practice serves to strengthen the neural pathways associated with the desired belief, making it more readily accessible and influential in guiding actions and shaping outcomes. Bristol concludes by reminding readers that the power of belief is an inherent human capacity, accessible to anyone willing to cultivate it. Through conscious effort, individuals can harness this power to shape their realities, achieve their goals, and live more fulfilling lives. I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation, and please remember to subscribe to receive notification of upcoming recordings. Any idea and comment, please write to below comments. This recording is a production of Vorldrevolution. The video and audio is copyright Vorldrevolution.